Like fantasy?
Film.
Bye! What'd you fucking say?
Fantasy.
Film fight!
I still don't get it.
Fantasy. Fight!
We take the pick of the litter.
We take it in turns.
Someone just gotta go first.
And then
The next person.
they just go round and round.
That's what.
We call it
Fantasy.
Fight. You win some, you lose some.
Anything can happen.
So,
Who are you going with?
who you picking? Today.
Fantasy.
Film.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 50 of Fantasy Film Fights, the show where we take a random film topic and we draft it fantasy style. Today, we are drafting movies with 5 words in the title. It's going to be interesting. With me, as always, right over here, my partner, Mr. Tony Hill. Tony, how you doing today, sir?
I am doing fine. It's been a wonderful day of just relaxation. Well, it's been a wonderful week of relaxation and all that jazz, and just like because for the first time, I think in history, Peggy's been on more streams than me in the past week. So it's been great just watching her just go, oh god, I've had like 10 streams to do this week. I've had to be interviewed 10 times, and just like, welcome to my life, welcome to my existence.
It's been a lot, but I've welcomed every second of it. But let's introduce the rest of our panel. Let's change the topic a little bit here. Right over here beside me, returning with us, Mr. Jay Burnz. Jay, how you doing?
You know what? Stepping in last second seems to be everything that I do in all of these leagues, and I appreciate it. At least this isn't a trivia match. This is just me here to yell at people and have some fun compiling a list. Thank you for having me, guys. I can't wait to see what we all come up with.
It's going to be interesting.
We should have quickly thank you, Jay, for jumping in the last second. Yes. Dave was meant to be on. Sadly, he's got a family emergency. All best wishes go out to Dave. You're a bastard.
Yes, we'll get Dave on another episode soon. But Jay, happy to have you aboard. Let's go around down here on the panel. Who should I start with? I'm going to start with Robert, newbie to the show. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, long time listener, first time caller, or long time watcher, first time player, I guess. I'm here to have a good time. I compile lists like when I make grocery lists and stuff, so I sort of know what it's about.
Nice.
Well, happy to have you aboard. Down below me, I think 5th time being on the show, something like that. Kirk's joining us again. Kirk, how you doing today?
Doing good. I've spent the last week finding out how many really great movies have 6-word titles. Once Upon a Time in Damn It. Yeah, it just doesn't work out. But there's some good 5-word ones too, so this will be fun.
Yes, and then last but certainly not least, down over here in the corner, Joseph is joining us. Joseph, how you doing, dude?
Really good. This isn't quite the 5th time I'm here, but that's okay because it's 5-word titles, but it's my 4th time here, but that's okay. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Might as well get cracking. In order to do that, we got to figure out who's going first, who's going last. Tony, how are we going about that?
Absolutely. So I've got a numerical question here. Everyone's going to go answer. Whoever gets closest to the answer gets to pick draft order. They get to decide who goes first and who takes it in the rear. So the question today, because the last time I did a question with Joseph on, he actually worked out and did the maths to figure out the answer, so I had to do something completely random. The very first movie to win Oscar's Best Picture for with a 5-word title is The Life of Emile Zola. How many words is the plot of The Life of Emile Zola on Wikipedia?
Okay.
How many words is the plot of that movie? I'll tell you, it sounds like a boring movie.
Get a number down.
1937, about a German.
I like it when you come up with like the most random questions. Makes it fun.
So, hi, Dave.
Miss you, Dave. Hope the kids are all right. Everyone got a number locked in. All right.
So we'll go in reverse order. So Joseph?
I guessed 580 words.
And Kirk?
325.
And
Cool.
Robert?
Man.
What's the difference? 327.
And Jake?
53 words.
Yeah. Me and Jay went with smaller synopsises. I went 123. My draft number, bitch.
I'm just going to keep the references to how many times she mentions it. That's not one. All right. So the closest, off by 41, Joseph Olivas. The correct answer, 621.
Wow. Oh, nice.
All right. So, Joseph, it falls upon you, sir. Who's going first? Who's going last? Who's stuck in the middle? How you want to set it up?
I'm pretty old-fashioned. Let's do the order that we were closest to it. So I'll go first, Robert goes second, Kirk goes third, Jay goes fifth, and Peggy goes fourth.
Works for me.
I go fourth. All right.
You go last, don't you?
He said fourth.
No, I go last.
Okay. So,
Pretty close. He said pretty close.
there we go. All right. So we got Joseph, Robert, Kirk, Peggy, and Jay taking in a little back. Just going to say, so we are doing 5-word movie titles because we're not doing stuff where they've been called at other places and stuff. It's like if it gets commonly called something, we're not really including that. So you can't really do Star Wars because you have to do the full, like Star Wars Phantom Menace. It'll be Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
But yeah. So.
Well, my list is crap. That's cool.
All right, let's get this show on the road. Joseph, you said you want to go first? You're up, buddy. We're officially on the clock for the draft for 5-word movie titles. What you thinking?
All right. So when I started doing this list and looking at movies that I wanted, there were two that came to mind that I wanted to try to get as my first pick. And I know that some people could argue that this movie was had a different title later on, but when it was first released, it had 5 words. You can tell me that you can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but this movie is a movie that I enjoyed quite a bit when I was a kid. It terrified me as a kid too because I wasn't expecting to be so intense, having people's faces blown off and getting destroyed by the Ark in Indiana Jones, the full title, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Robert's pissed.
I am. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to make a tougher decision. Now I do, and that's cool with me.
Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's my first pick.
That's a solid pick off the list. It's not my favorite of the trilogy. I like Last Crusade, but everybody else, I'm assuming this was somewhere on their draft board. No, Jay. Wow. All right. Interesting.
It was. If you did normal fantasy drafts,
you did, Jay.
Like a tier, this would be in the top tier for me.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a great. Yeah, this would have been a top pick. This is, obviously it's Raiders. It's a great movie. It's my favorite of the trilogy. I like Last Crusade too, but I think it would just edge it out a little bit. But yeah, good pick, Joseph.
Yeah, technically Last Crusade isn't eligible because that one was released as Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Last Crusade.
Yeah.
Jay, you were trying to say something? We couldn't hear you earlier.
Oh, I'm having really spotty internet connections right now. We had a power outage last night. No, I had assumed that Indiana Jones was a part of the title, so I didn't choose it.
That's fair. But
that makes sense.
All right.
Indiana Jones always feels like that thing where it's like such the perfect time capsule of it, and it's like only being a trilogy as well, and there's never been any other that ever existed, which makes it so great as well.
We'll run with that story. All right, Raiders of the Lost Ark. First one off the board. Over to Kirk. Kirk, what you got up your sleeve for your first round pick?
Was it
Robert?
Is it Robert? Oh, I wrote it down.
Yeah,
I wrote it down wrong.
I'll go.
My fault entirely.
Actually,
Robert.
I prefer you'd go because I think it'd actually make my choice easier. Perhaps, who knows?
My apologies, Robert. You're on the clock, sir.
Yeah, so I thought Joseph's pick would be there, so I could just take it and not feel bad about myself. I kind of already said that I'm not really looking at making these choices as like a lover of movies. I'm thinking about this as someone who's an affiliate, who's a fantasy draft file. I play in a lot of fantasy draft leagues, especially when you play in like category head-to-head leagues, like in baseball and basketball. You're trying to build out rosters that are well-balanced, because if you're trying to build a basketball team, you need some scorers, you need some guys on the boards, you need some guys to run an offense and dish out assists. So I'm looking at what I have here in my top tier. I'm going to go with a movie that was highly regarded at its time, obviously, but one that was sort of unique in the prospect of how much like fanfare it got with the kind of movie that it is. I am going to take the 1991 classic, directed by Jonathan Demme. I'm going to take The Silence of the Lambs.
All right.
That was the other one I was debating between.
Yeah, I have a feeling a few of you fellas are going to be fighting over some of these titles here.
Yeah.
Yep. So between that, at least we had the same top two, Robert, maybe?
Actually, I had another movie in there that I literally changed as I'm writing it on a board.
All right.
And this is what I came up with. But
watch Kirk
there
take
were
that
3 movies I had in the top, and these were 2 of them.
Well, this is not one I had on my list. Jay, is this one of the ones you came up with your hastily? Nope. Not at all.
One of the reasons why is because I kind of figured that this one would be snatched early as well. So I don't want to put it on my list just to scratch it off. It's just that's just an exercise in futility. So I just didn't even add it.
Ah, fair enough. All right. Silence of the Lambs goes to Robert. Kirk, unless anybody else wants to chime in on that.
It wasn't on my list. I just kind of overlooked it. It just didn't. When I was doing the research, it's just what it slipped through the cracks. It's a good pick, but I probably would have taken it first, but it definitely would have been high up for me.
Gotcha.
Well, I figure if I don't take it now, it's not coming back.
Yeah,
probably not.
In my opinion, it's the greatest film of all time, so I'm very happy it got picked. Also,
Wow.
just quickly, Christy asks, I'm sorry, I never try and say that people are wrong in their opinions. You're wrong. No.
Oof.
The TV show is great.
It's great.
But no, Anthony Hopkins is Hannibal Lecter. I'm sorry. Like Mads Mikkelsen, no, I'm sorry. And I don't want to hear about the new show that's coming out. It's just like there is only one Lecter.
If you like Hannibal Lecter to be like Gordon Ramsay, then yeah, that's cool. But I like my Hannibal Lecter to be menacing and, psychologically mind effing, and that's Anthony Hopkins.
Fair enough.
I like mine to be mind hunted.
Or manhunted.
Or manhunted. Either way. Hunted in some respect.
Silence of the Lambs. Gone. Kirk, you're up, sir. What you got?
My number one. Basically, what I did is when I started doing this, I just took. I went on my letterbox and I took all my movies and sorted them by my highest rankings and just started counting words. And one of the highest movies to come up for me. This isn't as probably iconic as Joseph or Robert's picks, but this is a great one of my favorite movies, and it is a fantastic movie. Some of my favorite performances. My number one pick is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
Ah, nice.
I like it.
This is I've talked about this before a lot of different shows, but I love this movie. Sidney Poitier's performance in this movie is probably one of my top 2 or 3 all time from an actor. Just everything he has to struggle with. I call this the better version of Get Out. And just Katharine Hepburn is just the coolest person on the face of the earth. I love her so much. I love her in this movie. Don't talk, dare, just drive. She's so slick. A great movie. And like I said, it's one of my personal favorites. So I'm going to snatch it up quick.
No, that's
it's better than Guess Who.
Yeah, I've seen that one with Bernie Mac.
Rip Uncle Bernie. Also, we're not streaming on Twitch, right? We're not going to get banned if I call Kirk a simp, right?
No, we're not on Twitch.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
You're good.
We're everywhere. We're on my OnlyFans account as well.
I don't even want to think about that, Tony.
I actually watched this movie for the first time this week. I did it for the 60s for the featured challenge thing.
Ooh, good pick.
So yeah, it was so good. Like I watched In the Heat of the Night before when we did Oscar Stubbs, and I went, "Oh, that one!" Like, and I'm guessing Guess Who come in today will be okay. And just like, "Oh my God, Sidney Poitier, how could you do these 2 movies in the same year?" Just my brain can't comprehend just how well he did.
Yeah,
this is what it's like, and just like Spencer Tracy as well. Just like, okay, no, yeah, you balance. You could have gone hysterically terrible with that role, just gone even an inch either way, and you did perfectly. It's like that movie. It's just absolutely amazing.
Cool. Anybody else want to chat? Yeah, go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
Right,
let me figure out my pick. Like I have to.
Anyone else have Guess Who Coming to Dinner on the list, or?
It was.
Hold up.
I have a long list. It was one that I considered, but I ultimately don't have a connection to it, so I wasn't going to pick it.
All right. So over to me with the most predictable pick of the first round. Pretty sure everyone here knows exactly where I'm going. I am going with a movie that came out in 1992, and it follows a set of sisters who play on a softball team and get scouted. and are brought to Chicago to try out for the All-American Girls Baseball League, I am taking A League of Their Own. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. Everyone's perfect in the movie. Nearly flawless movie. Penny Marshall knocked that one out of the park, to use a baseball term. But yeah, everyone knew it was coming. I am taking A League of Their Own. Who's pissed at me? Nobody, because you knew it was coming? Right, okay, cool.
It was really high on my list. I was hoping it would. I guess I should have assumed, Peggy. But
Yeah.
you gotta love a movie that teaches you something that you had no concept of before you watched it. And as someone who didn't know history that well, when I got to watch this, it's fantastic. Even Madonna's good. Madonna's good.
She's good.
I considered it. It was like on my lower tier ones. I like other movies more, but it's a good pick. I liked the movie when I saw it.
I didn't bother writing it down because I know it wouldn't be my first pick and it would be yours, so
yeah.
I kind of left it off my list. But no, it's a solid pick. It's a good movie.
Fair. Totally fair.
So, just before we go, Jay, so we're doing sports film in 2 weeks. This is a question that I've had for a while. Is baseball the best film for movies? Because you got Field of Dreams, you got The Natural, you got League of Their Own. There's you got all these, and there's and then if you look at every other sport, maybe American football's the only one that you can have
boxing.
Boxing is
yeah.
That's not a sport. That's a science, sir.
Sweethearts.
All right, so Peggy, being predictable as always, takes The League of Their Own. Over to Jay. Jay, what do you got up your sleeve? I'm interested. What's your first pick?
All right. So my first pick, I watched it this year for round 3 over in Full Metal. It's going to be Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Okay.
Is my first pick.
There goes one off my list.
Yep.
Same here.
Yep.
On Jay, any reason or?
Honestly, it's very topical right now if you think about it. Let alone them trying to get rid of the filibuster and that being the most prominent scene in this film. Corruption in politics, especially in Washington, D.C. This is just, it's just one of those really, I don't know, how did I put it on my letterbox? Did I put it on my letterbox? I thought this movie would be boring. And for an almost 3-hour movie, I was highly entertained. I had questions, like, what's with the love interest in The Office who doesn't love him but then loves him at the same time? It's weird. But yeah, no, I actually thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I did not see this movie until, what was it, political movies or something? We were drafting something where I had picked it, but I had yet to see it, but I watched it afterwards and loved it. But I forget what topic it was, but yeah. Actual.
Yeah. Guess who was my 1, and this is my 1A. I really debated the two of them. This would have been my next pick if it failed me. It's a great movie. Capra somehow figures out a way to take something that should be completely ridiculous and cheesy and just schmaltzy and make it real and make you feel it. And him and Stewart together is just the match made in heaven.
Yeah.
This had it's been sort of referenced and parodied twice in The Simpsons. You got that episode where Lisa does the contest and goes to Washington. She realizes the corruption, and then she does the horrible essay about how Washington's a swamp. And then you have Beyond Blunderdome, where Mel Gibson is redoing Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and he decides to lean into his action movie prowess and take the filibuster out and just murder everybody. So if it gets that much play in The Simpsons, it has to be good.
That's fair. That's fair. That is an excellent way to close out round number 1. Tony, recap it for those who got here a little bit late, maybe missed the first couple picks.
Absolutely. Just quickly before we do, any film needs a shifty-looking dog in.
Yeah.
Facts. Facts.
You got to make sure you play up that it's evil with shifty eyes. That's how we'll know.
All right, so for the first round, so Justin went first, and he went with Raiders of the Lost Ark for his first overall pick. Robert went second, and he went with Silence of the Lambs. Kirk went third, and went Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Peggy went fourth with A League of Their Own. And Jay, the last pick of the first round, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. So we go back to Mr. Burnz for his second pick of the first round. Of this round.
I'm gonna take this pick just so I can try to steal a pick from Kirk. Pick number pick number 1 in round number 2 is Night of the Living Dead.
Nice.
Really good.
Just because I knew it would piss Kirk off.
Where's Dave at? This kid's not that sick.
Man.
I mean, essentially, it started the zombie movies. It's black and white, and it's really one of the first movies where you actually get to see a person of color smack the shit out of people. And honestly, every time I see that, it cracks me up. The movie is not supposed to be funny, but I laugh uproariously every time I see that.
Okay, to each their own. I've actually never seen this one, so I'm going to defer to the rest of the panel to discuss. Hey, shush.
As a fellow Pittsburgh person, you can never go wrong with Romero.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I was definitely going to show on this one. I thought it might fall to me. I might be able to slip through the cracks. Jay knows me too well. But yeah, it's great. Romero started a mythos with this. You know, I mean, we speak of this now, same zombie. You know, Romero's zombies in the same universe as, you know, werewolves and vampires and all that stuff. Like he created that. That's where it started. And I think it's so amazing. Just so, you know, relatively, 50 years ago, not that long ago, it happened. And it's such a great movie. I love it so much. This is my favorite of the Romero series. The more I watch them, Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead kind of improve, but this is, I think, always going to be my favorite.
Joseph, was this on your list?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. I was teeing you up.
Oh, I saw this like a little over a year ago for the first time. I liked it. It's not my favorite zombie movie, but I can see how, like, I can see and respect how George Romero like started the whole zombie thing. I think that was very kind of impressive that he was able to come up with that concept, and then it spawned several movies in the future decades. So that was kind of cool. It wasn't quite on my list, but I can see why people would like it.
That's fair. All right. Night of the Living Dead off the board.
He was doing this while financing additional movies later on by doing commercial spots for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So
that's a fun fact.
In my eyes, for a lot of reasons, and that's
Go Bears. What?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I know.
Yikes.
I know. Sunday was brutal. We get it. I get it.
Sunday was terrible.
Yeah. So bad. That was an embarrassing game.
I just saw the budget for this film, $144,000.
If you ever get a chance, watch it with his audio commentary, and just how they cut like the scene at the beginning when the car is driving down and she's trying to get away from the zombie in the cemetery, and the car smashes. They had planned on borrowing like one of the producers or sound guys somebody's mother's car, and she wrecked it the night before. And they're like, oh, yes, now we can get it in the movie. So if you watch, you can see like it's wrecked before they wreck it. But just little things like that, how they squeezed out that budget. A lot of really cool stories.
Cool.
Horror is the best for that, where just they'll have like a string budget and just be able to make amazing stuff out of it. It's like if I wasn't such a pansy, I would be there just watching it, just going, oh, that's actually really interesting how they did it. But I'm just scared of everything.
I think horror movies just inspire generate the most inspiration and dedication in people. Like they work the hardest to make the craft seem better than it is, given how much money goes into it.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say you can make a horror movie out of anything. You can make a horror movie out of a $5 hair straightener, and that's 2/3 of your budget right there. Make a $15 horror movie that
you can make a horror movie entirely on Zoom for $0,
right
and when watch.
You can make a horror movie all about a car tire.
Yes.
Hey, I actually watched that movie.
No idea what they're talking about right now.
All right.
It's a movie called Rubber.
Look it up.
I shall at some point, but not right now. I got to figure out what I'm picking for the next pick here. My turn, huh? All right. I'm going to go a little off the beaten path for myself here. Throw a little curveball at you guys. I'm going to take a movie that came out in 1998. It is a parody movie, much in the same vein of, say, like Airplane or Not Another Teen Movie, Scary Movie. But follows the story of Jack Spade. Am I getting anyone yet on board? Anyone know what I'm talking about? He is a soldier that comes home because his brother had died from something called over gold. Anyone with me so far? Hey, I got Kirk on board. It is a brilliant parody movie from the Wayans brothers. It is called I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. Get spelled G-I-T, Tony, for the draft boards, just so you get the spelling right on that one. It's got Keenan Ivory Wayans is the main guy. It's got Damon Wayans in it. It's got David Allen Green in it. It's one of the best cameos ever from Chris Rock. You know, the one rib. That's what that movie's from. That's what movie it's from. But it's fantastic. I watched it on repeat as a child, and so I want it on my list. So my second overall pick is I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. Anyone besides Kirk seen this one?
Nope. Did you
have not, but I know of it very well, and I don't know how it didn't make a list of 100 movies that I set up. So that's cool.
Did you say 98?
88.
88. I'm sorry. I thought I heard 98, so I was like,
Yeah, I may have misspoken or mumbled my words, but it is 88. It's 88.
oh, all right.
I hadn't seen this since I was a kid, and I had to rewatch it recently for Trivia Match, and I was surprised how much I still liked it. I'm not a big fan of parody movies, and I'm not a big fan of Wayne's brother parody movies specifically, so I just thought I was going to kind of hate this going back to it, but it's still a lot of fun. It's still pretty funny. A lot of really good characters, a lot of good bits in it.
Yeah, it holds up if you guys want to give it a shot. It's a good movie.
I mean, let's be real. Anybody who's seen your letterbox knows you're not a fan of movies.
What?
Just the good ones.
Are you talking to me for a second, Jay?
No, I'm talking to Kirk.
I know.
Oh.
What?
Well, Peggy,
I got confused too. I was like, damn.
All right. Well, since they're not going to get a whole lot of people chiming in on that one, we might as well just keep this rolling along. Kirk, what you got?
My next one is another movie I had to watch recently for trivia. One of my favorite directors. Not necessarily my favorite movie from him, but it's my favorite of his that fits the criteria for today. I'm going to go with Martin Scorsese, The Wolf of Wall Street.
That's a good one.
This is again, it's a later Scorsese, but it's a very Scorsese movie. He's so good. I was watching this last week, and I was getting mad because I was getting mad at Scorsese because I should hate this guy. Stop making me root for him. Like every horrible thing comes out of my mouth, I'm getting more and more on his side. Why are you making me such a bad person? And that's what Scorsese does so well. Leo's so good in this role, and just so many great scenes of watching. It's kind of got that Goodfellas feel where it's that rags to riches, and just that fast-paced story of this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and all this crazy stuff you can't believe. I love the scene where he's getting ready to. He's going to leave. He has to leave because of all the legal issue he has. And as he's giving his speech, he talks himself into stage. He's like, "I'm not going anywhere." And just so many great moments like that. So many fantastic side characters. All his little minions. Rob Reiner, Jonah Hill. Just a lot of great character moments for each of them. So yeah, it's a long. I forgot how long it was. It's like 3 hours long. But you really don't feel the runtime. It goes by really fast. Great story.
Yeah, when I first watched it, I thought, I'm like, 3 hours, goddamn. But yeah, it flies. It just goes. You're just sucked into that story. But excellent pick. I'm assuming you guys had this somewhere on your list.
It was high on mine. It set the record for fucks.
Yeah.
In the movie. Like,
learn that from the kid.
One of the best ones. And you got even going beyond what Kirk said, you got Spike Jonze as the guy who runs the penny stock department, and that firm, and just even popping up out of nowhere made Margot Robbie a star, as was mentioned in the things. It's even Kristen Milioti as his first wife is pretty good in the little bit of screen time she has. It's incredible.
It's one of those films where it's just someone that doesn't really like Scorsese's work and just watching it and going, "Oh, okay, this is what you can do, and yet you've done Silence." Okay, I see how it is.
Sounds good.
Silence is very much a cinematography movie for me. It's fantastic, beautiful to look at, but the story just drained me.
I don't get Kirk in this one. I get it because it's a 5-word title, but I personally don't like this movie. This movie is fucking long and drawn out. You don't feel the runtime. I felt that runtime, bro. Fuck, that is just difficult to sit through. Maybe it's because I was bored the first time I watched it, but I have tried to watch it 3 times already again. It's difficult, bro.
Well, different strokes, different folks, as I like to always say.
Joseph, was this on your list, or?
It was not, actually.
No.
Interesting. But Kirk, yeah, you got a strong team going so far, buddy. Yeah. Over to Robert. Let's see if you can make yours equally as strong.
So this movie is actually the first movie that I thought of, and now I'm worried I'm like too mainstream, but I'm going to do it anyway because if I don't pick it, I'll feel bad. Movie that came out in 2007, won Best Picture, made one of the greatest movie villains to ever, and stole a show from a bunch of people that he was not supposed to steal a show against. My second round pick, I'm so happy that it's here, is Coen Brothers' No Country for Old Men.
Solid pick. I still haven't seen this one.
I've been meaning to rewatch this movie. I saw this like in my senior year of high school, and I thought it was good. I didn't get the ending at the time. I've read like explanations of what the ending means, and I've been meaning to get to that, get back to the movie. I just haven't yet. But I get why people love this movie because I do think the performances, especially Javier Bardem, are really, really great. I just need to rewatch it for that ending.
Did you say senior year of high school?
Yeah.
That's around my time as well. So I understand.
Youngsters.
So, Anton Chigurh is the definition of neutral evil.
Yes.
And I love it. It's literally the creepiest thing, friendo. Like 100%. I like this pick.
Am I remember he's the one who flips the coin and decides?
Yeah.
Okay, making sure that at least know the references,
He's like a more terrifying Two-Face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except he only has one face.
Like he's only have one
That's
face.
a good descriptor. That's a good description.
And he taught us that a bolt gun that you use for cows can be used to murder people.
Ooh, yeah.
I was unaware.
I mean, if you didn't know that before watching this movie, you just like
No. I just didn't think it could be in someone's repertoire. I'm just happy somebody like brought it out. I thought it was a nice thing.
That's fair. That's fair. All right.
Film as well has ruined Bardem for me though, because I'm just like anytime I see him now, it's just like, oh no, you're going to be evil. You have to prove that you're not an evil person in any film you're now in future because you're Anton Chigurh.
See, but he gets typecast. So when he appeared in the 19th Pirates of the Caribbean movie, I was like, oh, a decent villain.
It was fit.
Finally.
I still sometimes mistake him for Jeffrey Dean
It was
Morgan.
like the 14th. Let's be real.
But all right, No Country for Old Men gets onto Robert's squad. Joseph, over to you to close out round 2.
Okay, so my next pick is a documentary that came out a few years ago that is about a guy whose show I watched a lot when I was a kid, and this movie I think made a very, very emotional and heartfelt portrayal of how he was and how he affected so many people's lives. It's Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Nice.
Ooh, that's a beautiful pick.
You guys are still on my Pittsburgh Shield picks.
I didn't even think to put any documentaries. I'm mad at myself right now. It's an excellent pick, buddy. So, Kirk, I'm guessing this was on your draft board?
Yeah, on my list. Like, I'm not a big documentary guy, so I don't know if I would have taken it, but I had it written down high up, so it was definitely an option. And like I said, once Night of the Living Dead, I got to have some kind of Pittsburgh representation on the list, so I might have went with this later. But yeah, it's great. I mean, talking about Capra and Jimmy Stewart. That scene when he's in Congress, he's testified before Congress, and he convinces that guy to give him the money. I mean, that's something out of a Capra movie. Like, that doesn't happen in real life. That's some cheesy movie. Like, oh, that was cute, but that's never. And it actually happened. It's mind blowing. Yeah, I mean, it's a great. This and the other one, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, great companion pieces. Both just exploring his life and who he was. But yeah, it's a good pick.
The world could definitely use more Fred Rogers.
Definitely. Most definitely.
I'm not gonna say that it's a coincidence that as soon as Fred Rogers passed away, the world kind of went to shit. But I will say that once Fred Rogers passed away, the world kind of went to shit.
Yeah, it got a little dimmer, that's for sure.
I mean, there's a reason his sweater's in the Smithsonian, right?
Amen.
It's watching that documentary was so weird because it's like Rogers has never done anything of his, never been on TV, so like going into that completely blind apart from like knowing like, oh, American kids love him. I was just like, holy crap, this person, like, this is actually a documentary. This isn't fake, like about making someone to be like a demigod, like a saint or something. No, he's actually a real person. Holy crap! And then you had Tom Hanks play him weirdly and creepily.
And you had Eddie Murphy making fun of him and doing skits.
Can you say this? Cab drivers can.
You know what?
I like Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood 8.
Yep.
All
Mr.
right,
Rogers, man. I love that it's still in syndication. I love that reruns still pop up. So like every time I see an episode on, because they play it like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning over here, I will stay up and watch it.
He taught me how to make homemade Oreos.
Did you watch it when it was on Twitch?
No, I didn't watch it when it was on Twitch. It's still like PBS still airs episodes of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
You know, it was when they did that Twitch thing of when that documentary came out and just like playing them all the time. I ended up just sitting there for like 4 hours just watching it, just like, why am I watching a kids show from the 70s and why am I really invested in it? I don't like this.
He just had that kind of effect.
I think if more people watched Mr. Rogers, there would be less fucking assholes in the world. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He didn't talk down to you as a kid. He treated you as a small person, not as someone who didn't have the intelligence to grasp the lessons he was trying to do. It wasn't like, no shade, but it wasn't like watching Barney or some crap.
No, it was much like in Mrs. Doubtfire when
Yes.
Jack, yeah. But that's a solid way to close out round 2, Joseph.
Hell yeah.
Way to be.
Great pick.
All right. Recap time. Tony, take it away.
Absolutely. Okay, so Jay went first this round. He went Night of the Living Dead. Peggy was second. She went with I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. Kirk went with Wolf of Wall Street. Robert went with No Country for Old Men. And Joseph went for Won't You Be My Neighbor. I do feel that the first and last of movies of this pick were very much similar. Like, I think Mr. Rogers and George and Romero's work very similar.
Yeah.
Both Pittsburgh boys.
Almost interchangeable.
Looking in the mirror.
And also, just quickly before we go to round 3, so the show worked in people apply to come on. You can go on the Facebook page, you can find it in the description, and let me bring it up because I have it. I'm doing it now because we always do it at the end, and people go, "Oh, I didn't see it." It's like, did you watch it to the end? No. So the next month's is already out, so it is third in Rotten Tomatoes, 51.75%. On the 10th, we are doing movie couples for Valentine's Day. 17th, Double Duty, so it's someone that either wrote, directed, or acted, 2 of them combined. And 24th, favorite movie teachers. So if you're interested in doing any of them, please go to the Facebook page, put your name down it'll be on the announcements.
Yes, please do so. All right, kicking off round 3. Joseph, you're up, sir. What you got?
Okay, this is hard now because there are a few movies that I wanted to take that I would have liked to have taken, but they were already taken. But that's okay because I had plenty of other movies to choose from that I considered. But which one to take is like, so I want to go with you know what? I'm going to go with this movie just to raise awareness of this movie because I think it's really brilliant and also very, very timely today. This is a movie that it was the feature film debut of an actor who was better known for television, and it's just amazing to me that my brother and my dad and I watched a number of episodes of this show, the Andy Griffith Show, and if you see episodes from that show and go to this movie, it's called A Face in the Crowd. It's a very, very, very different character that Andy Griffith plays. Do check this out. I recommend that you check it out. It's about a guy who is found in a prison and invited to and brought on a radio show, and he does some guitar singing and songs, and slowly but surely rises to fame through that. But over the course of the movie, you see how that fame changes him. some not so very great things he does in the course of the movie because of his fame, and the ending is really, really haunting. I think that it deserves a watch, especially for this time period. I'd recommend if you can find it anywhere. That's
HBO
my
Max.
pick.
HBO Max, you said?
It's available in the States on HBO Max.
Nice. Yeah, I've never seen this one. Hopefully, someone else can speak to it because I have no concept.
Yeah, no, everything Joseph says is absolutely correct. It's a completely different Eddie Griffith. Not something you would expect if you knew him from like the rest of his career, the things he's famous for. Very dark movie, very modern movie. It came out. What year did this come out, Joseph?
1957.
57, and it could have. I mean, you changed a few things. It could have came out last year. It's all about like just cult of personality and the influence of celebrity and how dangerous that could be, and how that could take over. And it's a great performance from him. Walter Matthau has a small role in it, and he's really good in it. So yeah, definitely. I second Joseph's recommendation. If you haven't seen this, check it out.
Sweet.
I believe I've heard it called before, like a darker version of the Star is Born story.
Oh,
That makes sense.
So
Interesting.
can I ask a question to Joseph and Kirk?
Absolutely. Fire.
How much whistling is in it?
Little to none.
Yeah,
Damn.
I can't think of any at the top of my head.
Does Ron Howard make a cameo? No. Anyways, so face in the crowd goes onto Joseph's squad. Robert, your third round pick, sir.
Okay. So again, I feel like I'm being a little bit too on the surface here, but that's okay because this is how I made the list, and this is what I'm going to stick with. Usually, when you do a draft at this point, this would be considered the middle rounds, even though we're only doing 5. So you're looking to take big swings. I already got a psychological thriller. I already have a prestige action-y thriller of sorts. So I figured might as well, given our landscape nowadays, I might as well take the best superhero movie that we have that stars with 5 words. Came out in 2014, redesigned kind of the idea of putting different genres of movies in a superhero movie and not making the superpowers necessarily the thing that you're concerned about, but the intrigue as a 70s spy thriller. Of course, I'm talking about Captain America, The Winter Soldier.
Nice. Good pick.
You just made my list easier. Thank you.
I was going to say, I would imagine this made Jay's list at somewhere along the...
I think I saw it, actually. I think I saw it written.
I just scratched it out, too.
Yeah, there it is.
But
Nice.
again, I don't think I would have actually chosen it. I think that had I not had anything come like round 5 that I still really wanted, I would go with it. I do love this movie, and as soon as you said 2014 superhero movie, I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and scratch this off my list because this is like the best MCU spy movie they've made, and yeah.
Sweet. Anybody else want to chime in on that, or shall we keep it on chugging along over to Kirk?
I really like this movie. When I saw it in the theater, I haven't really sat down to rewatch it since. I've seen like bits and pieces there. I haven't rewatched it since though, but I liked it.
This is the first movie I think where we saw with Marvel like they could do different things. This is basically like a 70s spy thriller. You've got Robert Redford in there, and it just has that entire like tone to it. And I think it really set like this is like an important movie for the MCU because it's like I think we're not just popcorn big budget. We can do different things and be different things. And they've done so much more since then. But yeah, this is solid. This is definitely high on my list.
Nice.
I think
It was also made by the guys who did Community. Come on. If you don't like Community, get the fuck out.
Some of the best paintball episodes ever. 6 seasons in a movie.
Indeed.
I was going to say, so you could probably say 4 was the first like attempt of doing it, but like the whole like Shakespearean thing. But this was the first time actually like they hit out the park, just like multi-genre, and it's like okay, and then you just have like the poster just go, this film, do it as good as this one, not that one, this one.
I would concur.
Ooh, Oh, that's actually a really good shout, Garth.
Yes.
Yep.
Agreed.
Also in my list.
Okay. Worse for someone's list.
Not that I've done it though.
I may do that this week.
Cool. All right, Kirk, you're up.
The question now is to pander or not to pander.
I know, right?
Take Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and let's just move on.
I think because, there's I got a lot of movies on my list. I think they're safe. I don't think anybody else could take them. And honestly, I'm not sure how to narrow them down anyway. So yeah, you guys know I like to win. I'm taking Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
And there he
Fucking
steals
called
it.
Go ahead and scratch that one off the list too.
I know the community. No, I don't love this movie as everybody else. I think it's good. It's and it has 5 words in it. So
It's
I think
meh.
the music. Sorry, Peggy, go ahead.
It's meh. Jake Meltzer made me watch it like 5 times, so I'm a little sick of it. But it's all right. But yeah, go ahead.
I think at this point in time, the best things about this movie are the vegan police that appear for all of 30 seconds, and the music. The soundtrack to this movie is better than the movie itself. Don't get me wrong. I like Edgar Wright and I like Michael Cera, but this is just it's starting to just become a repetitive thing where every time it can be added to a list, people add it to a list, and I'm just like.
My thing is the community. Do people in the community realize that Scott Pilgrim is like a terrible person? Do they get that?
Some do.
Scott Pilgrim is a pedophile, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just making
Scott
sure
Pilgrim is
people are aware.
24 years old and he's dating a 17-year-old. I don't know how it works in fucking Canada, but I'm pretty sure that's goddamn illegal.
Also, who calls their child knives?
Excuse me.
A kick-ass parent, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's a solid choice, Tony. I don't know what you're talking about. He also murders 7 people. Well, I guess that's bad.
Well, hold on. He didn't murder them. He was fighting them because they challenged him for most of it anyway.
And then they die in the fight, right? I'm pretty sure you call that killing somebody. Another word for killing somebody is murder.
It's not murder, though. It's like defeating someone in a fight because it's a duel kind of thing.
it's manslaughter.
Yeah.
Which is another form of murder.
Anybody kills anybody accidentally in a fight, they go to jail. It's called manslaughter.
Hey, Quentin Tarantino quote. Woo!
I just thought of a good double feature now. You watch Molly's Game, hate Michael Cera with a passion, then watch Scott Pilgrim to watch him get beaten up.
What was that crazy movie he did where they were on like LSD in the
This
desert?
is the end.
I think this is the end.
No. This one, it was like a indie movie that he went with like 2 friends and they got high in the desert.
Oh, I can't remember that. I know what you're talking about.
Someone in the channel get it.
Peggy,
Yeah, so-
pick it now. Have a gander at that.
But keep talking so I don't have to decide what to pick now.
This movie, I like parts of it. There are other parts that tire me, kind of, and especially when in this community, there are a lot of people who like praise the ever-living hell out of this movie, which is all right because it's their opinion, their picks. But like, it's all right. It's really hit or miss for me. Like, I agree with what Jay was saying about the vegan police stuff. That entire segment with Brandon Routh's character Todd Ingram and Brie Larson, the Black Sheep song that she performs, I think that's my favorite part of that movie. But by the end, I was getting kind of tired of it, like wanting to be cool and quirky and all of that. But like, it's all right. I get people liking it. It's not my favorite Edgar Wright movie though.
Ooh, I think I gotta disagree with you there for the most part. I mean, Baby Driver is a close tie for me, though. Like,
I was gonna say The World's End.
Oh no, come on, dude! Nobody talks about The World's End.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Nobody
people
talks
say
about it. It's not even rated.
The issue is that people say it's in the top. It's not in the top. It's not in the bottom of the Coronel trilogy. That's overrating it. I'm sorry. I think it's a good film, but Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead are way better films. And if anyone has it like second or first, and they're just like, really? Are you sure? Like, It's got a bit like bangs and whistles, but
sometimes it comes right down to the fact that you've watched a movie about 1,000 times and it stops being enjoyable in that 1,001st time. But honestly, it goes Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, and The World's End. That's just the correct way to rate the Cornetto trilogy. I'm just saying.
All right.
I don't disagree with you, Jack.
Yeah.
I don't.
Have you
But I understand what you're saying, Tony, because like that used to be the list, you know, and then people were like, you know, it was really good, The World's End. It might even be better than one of those. And then you're like, okay, I'll go back to it. And you're like, oh, you know, that's actually pretty good. And then you start getting enveloped by that, and then you have to like pull yourself out of that tractor beam. But I get
Gary King pulls a legitimate the dude in that movie. When he's talking to the entity at the end of the movie, and he's like, well, what do you want? And he's like, we want to be free to make our own decisions. He's literally doing exactly what the dude in The Big Lebowski did. And I'm just like, you're better than that, bro. Don't do that.
Also, just quickly before we go to Peggy for a pick, the LSD Michael Cera movie, Crystal Fairy and the Magical Cactus.
Thank you.
And now one of my favorite movie titles of all time.
Yes. Thank you.
Not familiar with that movie.
Yeah,
Wow.
I can't say.
Damn, I was hoping it was a 5-word title. Just for the title alone.
Yeah.
All right, over to me, huh? Well, I don't have to worry about the poll anymore because I'm pretty sure Kirk's got that locked up right now. So I'm just going to start picking movies that I just happen to love and I want on my team. So we're going to go with a movie from, I want to say 2004. It's in, I'm pretty sure, follows the story of a guy named Andy who works at I guess it's supposed to be a Best Buy. And we find out that he has never had sex before. I'm taking the 40-year-old virgin.
That's a smart tack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We rep the same smart tack? Don't do that.
We will pull bash you.
But no, fantastic comedy. I'm sure everyone out here has seen it. But I mean, Steve Carell pretty much put his name on the map as like a leading man. I like anything from Judd Apatow. Honestly, a lot of people say his movies go long, which they can. See King of Staten Island. But no, this one's fantastic. Seth Rogen, Paul Rudd. You get a cameo from Jonah Hill in that one, which is just out of nowhere and hilarious. But yeah, one of my favorite comedies from the 2000s. So I'm happy to have it on my list. 4-year-old.
Can I buy these boots?
Yeah. It's fantastic.
I thoroughly love this movie. It was a comedy until I lost
Bag of sand.
How does that happen?
Oh.
It's really crowded in here tonight. Yeah, well, it's $9 beer night. My favorite line.
Did you have shellfish? Yeah, I thought so.
Let's get some fucking French toast.
Do you think I'm pretty? I can't do it right now.
Man.
But no, endlessly quotable movie. Fantastic film. I love it. So I'm happy to have it on my team. Did anybody else have this on their list at
You're
all?
using a whole bunch of big words right now, and I don't know what they mean, so I'm gonna take it as disrespect.
Yeah, this is definitely on high on my list. One of my highest rated comedies. I love this movie. The cast is so good. Everybody is. It's not on the same level as Anchorman for me, but it's that kind of comedy where just everybody is like doing their best, like their best possible work.
If I had to hear Yamo be there one more time, I'm going to Yamo burn this place to the fucking ground.
I just wanted to smoke a lot of weed and watch Gandhi.
Oh my god.
Look at that ass. That's the ass of a free man.
The biggest ass in the club. Maybe
It's not
the
about-
right club.
But
Is
yeah.
this shirt too yellow? No. Oh, what's Curious George like a yellow?
Macro majors calls herself a pair of jean shorts.
It introduces to people like Romany Malco and even Kat Dennings as well in their small role. You mentioned, Peggy, the Jonah Hill thing where he just wants to buy the shoes with the fish in them because they're cool. Totally thinking that an eBay store, could exist. And
I remember them being all over the place back then. Oh,
Yeah.
God, everywhere. Not anymore.
After you fuck her, is she gonna send you a $5 check on your birthday?
Dave, no.
Oof.
You're just gonna do the whole movie? Is that?
Wait for it, and then you fucking plan. Yeah,
Anchorman.
Great Elizabeth Banks is in that one. You know, everyone's in that one.
I hope you got a big trunk because I'm going to put my bike in it.
Hell!
Everybody loves Raymond. I don't know why that's in there. It's just a good show.
Oh, that's a good.
Oh my god!
It was Dave that said that, by the way.
I actually thoroughly
Rock him.
love this movie.
Yeah.
This is a great pick.
I don't think Jonathan's talking out of turn with that. I know people love, Knocked Up, but I thoroughly enjoy this one more than.
Oh, I do too. Yeah, I have this above Knocked Up. I mean, I like Knocked Up too, but this is higher for me.
Yeah. Personally, I have This Is 40 as my favorite Apatow film, but this is
That's up there for me too. It's underappreciated by a lot of people.
Yeah. As Loveless and Paul Rudd as a couple, I'm just like, yes, and Megan Fox.
And both maybe
funny
Albert
people,
Brooks
right?
as Paul Rudd's dad.
And Harold Ramis, right? No, that's not that. Never mind. Sorry.
That's John Lithgow.
John Lithgow. That's right.
But yeah. So all right, over to Jay. Close out round number 3.
Oh, okay. Where am I going to go on my list here? Do I go with? You know what? I'm gonna take it just because it's there. I'm gonna go Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Damn it!
For my third round pick. Honestly, Alan Tudyk and Tyler Labine are hilarious in this movie. Look, officer, we've had a doozy of a day. It's literally just the story of 2 hillbillies being accosted by preppy college kids in the forest, and of course the preppy white people have to play victim. This is just some of the funniest shit.
Whomever put this on the round 3 movies for Full Metal, thank you.
You're welcome.
Was that you? Oh,
You're welcome.
I had never
That was
seen
me.
I had to watch it for a match, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So thank you, Jay. Appreciate it.
Of course.
I have only watched it the one time, but I thoroughly enjoyed it because, as you mentioned, Alan Tudyk and Tyler Labine as a comedy horror duo, it's it's incredible.
I've also only seen it one time, and it was all right. It wasn't quite on my list, but I don't have a problem with some people liking it.
I like it. It's a good movie. I wrote it down, but I knew Jay would take it. Right in this, I found there a lot of five-word horror movie titles, and there's just some horror movies I would rather have on my list.
Okay. But yeah, I went into it not expecting, I did not know what I was getting into, and I was pleasantly surprised by the movie that was unfurling before me. So, again, thank you, Jay. And a good way to close out round 3. Ooh. Tony, you're up. Take it away.
Well, just before we do that,
Dave's in the chat.
That made your list.
I get it. Dave needs to plug his show, but don't you have a sick child to take care of? What are you still doing here?
He's fine. He's throwing up in the corner. It's fine. He can multitask. Speaking of that made your list, first episode of the video version came up yesterday. Him and Aaron J went on for the first 10 questions. So it'll be every Tuesday. It'll be either Dave with That Made Your List or Bill with Unearth. If you're interested in being on either show, go message them. Please, for love of God, stop messaging me about it because I hate being carrier pigeon. Well, ass. All right, so third round.
There's notes into everything.
Joseph went first overall this round, and he went with A Face in the Crowd. Robert second, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Kirk went for Scott Pilgrim vs. the World to appease 20-year-olds in this community. Peggy went for the 40-year-old virgin, and Jay went with Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
This is where the lists start to get real interesting, and I'm very interested to see what Jay's going to do with his 4th round pick. You're up.
See, now this is where it gets difficult because I had kind of figured at least a couple of these would have been taken already. I'm going.
Jay is it that again?
I'm gonna go with Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Nice.
All right.
All right.
So I'm not gonna do it.
I am a dapper Dan man myself. I like them soggy bottom boys. No, this is Greek comedy on film, and it's hilarious. Like this is the first Coen Brothers movie I think I ever watched, and like I didn't understand it the first time I watched it. But the more and more I go back and the more references I get, the older I get, the funnier it actually becomes.
That's fair. I'm not the biggest fan of this one, but hey, that's just me and my aesthetic of my movie watching sensibilities. Gentlemen, did you guys have this on your list?
This is the Iliad or the Odyssey? Sorry, Robert, go ahead.
I was going to say, it was featured and kind of, I'm probably going to take what you're talking about, Joseph, but, you know, when you can make Greek tragedy into comedy like this and make it relatable, that's what you want in a movie sometimes when it's dealing with subject material that you're not as connected to, putting it in a world that connects you to, then it feels like it's home.
I haven't seen it.
It was on my list. I'm kind of bummed Jay took it, but I'm glad he took it because he kind of made my path to my fifth pick a lot easier. This one, I'm not like I don't dislike the Coens, but like they're not I'm not as high on a lot of people are, and I'm not a fan of George Clooney in Coen Brothers comedy. Like just his style of acting usually bugs me, but I love him in this, and I love this movie.
Yeah, it's on my watch list, though.
Same. I've listened to the soundtrack numerous times. I've never actually watched the movie yet.
Huh. It's kind of odd.
And if you know what you know about, oh my God, like John Goodman, he makes for a good villain.
Nice. John Goodman is always great as well.
From now until the end of time, that's what's up.
Wasn't this the first adapted screenplay the Coens did?
I believe so.
Sounds right.
Right,
Yes. Quick, somebody call Caleb Coho.
They were nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay for this.
Right, I remember that.
So I believe this would, because this would be like, this would be the period when they started doing stuff. Because then you have like the Lady Killers coming out a couple of years later, and then
No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
Non parler en français, bro. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry.
All right, so Peggy, you can't delay it any longer.
All right. For my fourth overall pick, I'm taking a Sam Raimi film. I am taking a Sam Raimi film from 1999 because you can never go wrong with a Kevin Costner baseball film. And if you take a Kevin Costner baseball film and you throw a love story on top of it and small roles from J.K. Simmons, sorry, that's a callback to a fan league match I had, and John C. Reilly, and you got Jenna Malone as the kid in that one. I love the movie, and not a whole lot of people have seen it. I'm taking For Love of the Game.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I am assuming none of you gentlemen had that on your lists.
I haven't seen it.
Yep.
It's extended on my list, but I haven't really watched it, and I wasn't going to pick it. So
it is on my list.
Oh, yay! That makes me feel a little bit better, Jay. Thank you. But yeah,
Granted, I know you said you only had like 9 movies on your list, and I didn't want to steal one of the 9 movies on your list. Yeah, I love J.K. Rowling's in this. Great one.
I will never live that down. They asked
Never.
me for the Detroit Tigers in that movie, and I said J.K. Rowling, and not J.K. Simmons.
Well, it's not like Team Action saying Giancarlo Stanton as opposed to Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah.
Yikes.
So we'll never live it down.
Fire.
So obviously, Costner's done a lot of sports films. How does this stack up with like the Bull Durhams, the Field of Dreams?
Field of Dreams. Love of the Game. Tin Cup. No, that's golf. I'm just going sports films. Actually, no, Tin Cup, then For Love of the Game. Then I'll go Bull Durham.
No, The Legend of Bagger Vance. Okay, whatever, bro.
Costner's not
the
in
greatest
that.
game ever played?
Costner's not in Legend of Bagger Vance.
What about Draft Day?
Draft Day.
Draft Day, like, it's in the top 10.
I would probably say just, it's probably kind of like a second tier-ish Kevin Costner sports movie because it's not as well considered. Doesn't mean it's bad, just saying it's just not as well considered as the others.
I say check it out if you get a chance. John C. Reilly playing as catcher has great little one-liners here and there. Of course he does because it's John C. Reilly. But I love the movie. Happy to have it on my team. Kirk, you're up.
Okay, like I said, Jay really narrowed things down for me. I wrote this down after he took a brother because I had a hunch Peggy wouldn't take it. Movie that I've watched a couple times the past couple years. Really enjoyed for one of my favorite directors. I went with 1974's Murder on the Orient Express.
Nice.
Some Sidney Lumet. Just a fantastic cast. You had Albert Finney as Hercule Poirot chewing up the scenery, but really just played it so smart. Sean Connery, Lauren Bacall, Ingrid Bergman. Let's go. I mean, it's an all-star cast. And he said that Lumet said the reason why he cast so many big names is because they were throwing so much information at you in the story that you had to figure a way for people to remember everything that was coming at them. And he said if it was coming from out of famous faces, it'd be easier for people to remember. That's why he cast it the way he did. And I think it was just such a brilliant movie because it's just such a strong cast. And I'm reading Lumet's book now, so he talks about like a lot of the decisions he made in this movie, and it makes me love it a lot more because it's just little details that he put in. And then just again, Finney is fantastic in this. His last, the final monologue where he reveals everything is like 15 minutes long, and it's just him talking and explaining everything, and it's everybody's so great in it. It's up there for one of my favorite ensemble cast movies of all time. It's really good.
Would you rank it on? Sorry, Peg. Would you rank it on Letterboxd?
4, I think. I got it 4.
Oh, that's high.
So it really is a good movie.
Yeah.
It really is a good movie.
Praise, Kirk.
Yeah.
Dang. But speaking of Albert Finney, it's amazing the career that he had. He had such varied roles throughout the entire, spanning decades. Like, you didn't think about it really, but then you see, he's like in everything.
True. Also, just the 2017 version of Murder on the Orient Express isn't that bad. It's one of those ones I went in going, okay, this is going to be terrible, but I know the story because I've seen Poirot over here all the time. So and it was like, actually, Brian's done a decent job here. I'm gonna go watch his next film, Artemis Fowl. No thanks.
I've seen the beginning and the end of the 74 version of Murder on the Orient Express. I have not seen the whole thing. I've been meaning to get to it though.
I've seen clips, but I haven't seen it.
This is one of the first times I watched the 74 version before I watched the new version with Kenneth Branagh in it. I like them both, but 74 is just like right above it. Well, not like right above it, but it is above it. So I mean, you give me a detective, you give me a closed space, you give me a murder mystery. I'm about that life.
If you can find it over in the States, the TV show Poirot is incredible. David Suchet plays him for about, I think it was from 1990 to 2013, and they did a ton of episodes, and he is Poirot. He's amazing. It's like he has the accent. He is everything you embody of him. So if you can, I recommend this a while ago, but if you can find that series.
I think they run that on PBS a lot.
Nice.
Over here.
Oh.
If that's the version I'm thinking of, which I think it is.
I think so. Hopefully.
You're right.
All right, Robert, you're up.
All right, so we're getting in the later rounds. I'm a comedy person, and I haven't picked a comedy yet. There's one in here that speaks to me very well. Peggy, this kind of fits in between I'm gonna get you, sucker, and 40-year-old virgin in terms of like how comedic it is versus how spoofy it is. I am picking a movie. Hey Blinken, did you say Abe Lincoln? No, I said Hey Blinken. Hold the reins, man. I'm going with Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Nice. I love it. Yes. Roam around the forest looking for fights.
I'm on one side. I'm on the other side. I'm on the East Bank. I'm on the West Bank. It's not that critical.
I just love that his name is Hachu. I don't know why. It makes me happy.
Bless you.
Yeah. Hold on, bad guys. I am running out of air. Gotta get pumped. Okay, honkies. I'm in.
I have not seen it.
Then you don't know the brilliance that is Dave Chappelle before he blew up in that one. Not blew up physically, like blew up as in got much more popular.
So,
Jesus Christ.
Dave Chappelle actually did explode in '95.
He's
It's
not.
like
He's not Aunt Marge.
I like I said before, I'm not a huge fan of parody, so I really don't love this one. But I know, like, as far as in that genre, this is one of the top rated ones. So if you're going to go with one of these, I guess it's the one to pick.
I think it was the first Mel Brooks movie I watched as a kid. So it holds a place in my heart. That and Spaceballs.
Yeah, Spaceballs was mine.
For me.
Sorry.
Okay.
Don't know what he was trying to say, but that is all right. Robin Hood, Men in Tights, excuse me. Anybody else want to chime in on that, or should we move over to Joseph to close out round 4?
Are we going 5 or 6 rounds?
We're going 5.
Okay.
We'll do honorable mentions.
All right, Joseph, you're up, sir. What you thinking?
Okay. I think I'm gonna focus right now on. Well, okay. I'm gonna get my next movie in a movie that I didn't think I would like, but I actually really, really dug. It blends both horror and kind of comedy elements to a very, very fun amount. And if you haven't seen this movie and you're into horror and mixed with comedies, I think this is a very, very fun movie that you should check out. It's a 1988 movie called Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Wow, did not expect that one going off the board.
This movie is a lot of fun, but it's also super creepy at times when it needs to be creepy. And I don't know, I just like the craziness of what the clowns do in order to murder their victims or to stuff them and get feed on them. I don't know. It was a lot of fun, a lot more fun than I thought I would have with this movie. It's gonna be just a little more variety into my draft. That's gonna be my 4th pick.
I don't think I've seen this one since the 80s, so I cannot speak intelligently to it.
No.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since when it came out when I was a kid, and I remember it was crazy, but I don't remember a whole lot of details about it. But this is a really fun pick. I'll definitely give you that.
Sure.
This is one of my favorite picks of all time in this show because you just think of what Joseph normally says, the last face in the crowd, this 50s classic film, right? This really serious film, then Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's just I'm just like, Alan Shepard, are you there under a mask?
I dig it.
I want variety, that's why. I get it.
That's definitely that.
So,
definitely fits it.
I've only seen clips of this because Adam Collins scares me. But is it how is it? Does it go more into the comedic side, or is it more of horror?
Or is it the perfect blend?
I think. I would say. I would say it's a good blend for it.
I would say, tell me if I'm wrong, Joseph. Are you familiar with trauma movies, Tony?
Yeah.
It's kind of in that vein, I'd say.
Okay.
Would you agree with that, Joseph?
I don't know.
Like Toxic Avenger type movies, like that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, the stuff that you find unearthed.
All right, well, a surprising way to close out round 4, but closing out round 4 nonetheless. Tony, take it away with the recap.
Absolutely. Okay, Jay went first this round, and he went with Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Peggy went with For the Love of the Game. Kirk went with 74 Murder on the Orient Express. Robert went for Robin Hood, Men in Tights. And Joseph, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
All right,
final round.
We've reached round 5. This is where you either solidify the win and the vote. Kirk's already got that wrapped up, so I say just pick the one you want on your squad. Joseph, fire away.
Okay, I am going to apologize in advance to Dave and Aaron, who are saying that they want their picks on the draft here. Well, I'm gonna pick something that I want, so I'm sorry, but this movie is one of my favorite animated movies from DreamWorks, and it's a movie called How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes.
Nice.
This movie, I think, has a really, really, really sweet friendship between Toothless and Hiccup, and I think their friendship that grows across over the course of the movie is really cool to watch, and the music is also incredible, and I like seeing all the scenes where Hiccup is training dragons. It was something that I really, really enjoyed, and still do.
Yeah, I remember thinking this movie was adorable. I laughed, I cried, but I have yet to see any of the sequels.
They hold up. They really do.
Okay, good. Glad to hear that.
I have no fault in this. I think it's a charming movie. I think get away from Gerard Butler being the only one, him and Craig Ferguson having the Scottish accents, but everybody else is super charming in it. Really teaches you about kind of what builds out friendship and how bad reputations can be overcome when you really get to know somebody and what they're about, and how you can change the landscape of thinking just by giving somebody a chance, or giving something a chance in this case. So, all for it.
Yeah, Joseph may have stole some of my Scott Pilgrim votes here, but it's a great movie. I really like this movie. It's just the scale of it. Like, I remember seeing it on the big screen, and just like all the fly and everything. It's just a really fun movie to watch. I love the creature design with all the dragons. And you get better character in here than you do with a lot of DreamWorks animated movies. The characters seem like real and grounded, so I really appreciate about it.
Cool.
I just love the Rigolet's just gotten really happy all of a sudden, and he doesn't know why. But How to Train Your Dragon is probably the best man and dog movie. But it doesn't involve a dog. It's just that whole relationship thing, and it's just like, yeah, if you made this a dog and the live action, people would like this would be like that Marley means classy, classic, and just like, but it's no more a dragon, it's even better.
How do you feel about Pete's Dragon, Tony?
Never seen it.
Okay. Either version?
Nah, I've been meaning to catch it, but it's weird. Pete's Dragon is a weird one over here, but it's just like literally just flew under the radar, never got talked about, never did anything.
Huh.
Two of those.
Pete's Dragon is about a ketamine trip, bro.
Ah.
But the cartoon dragon is charming. That's part of it.
All right, anyways, Joseph's team is closed up, locked down. Robert, what are you taking for your final slot?
Usually when you get to the end of the draft, you're really just, throwing darts and hoping something sticks, in this case for whenever this vote comes out. I'm actually between a couple things. I wanted to pick a family movie. There's also a musical that I think would help solidify some votes if I wanted to go that way. But it's the fifth round, and like Joseph, I want to do what I want to do. So I want to pick a charming movie about animals overcoming adversity, and even though they're of different species, they can still talk to each other seemingly telepathically. Even though a lot of things can get in their way, they're really just trying to get home. I am picking Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey.
Oh wow! Okay. Another one that makes me cry.
I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid, but I really, really liked it as a kid.
Mm-hmm. I think I remember seeing it in theaters as a child.
So if I was just going to be incredibly niche family films, okay.
Yes.
Not mine so
All right.
much.
All Dogs Go to Heaven was also considered.
Yikes.
Another one that makes me cry.
I have not seen this one.
That doesn't surprise me. Is that really your aesthetic?
Yeah.
Hey, we hit one of Varen's.
Well, I don't know how that makes me feel.
It's a complicated experience.
Yeah, it's a complicated feeling. It hurts me, but it also makes me feel proud, I guess.
I need to watch Homeward Bound. I've not seen it since I've not seen it since I was a little boy, and it's just like now I should go back and just go. Is this the reason why I don't like big dogs?
How can you not like big dogs?
Michael J. Fox and Sally Field. I mean, Sally Field had like a nice run, in Mrs. Doubtfire in this, where she proved like she could actually be really funny and appeal to kids, I guess. And this as a cat, as Sassy the cat, Michael J. Fox, as Chance the dog, just throwing 100 miles an hour. It's fantastic.
Cool.
Nice.
And then nice. You said you wanted to have a nice rounded team. I think you've succeeded in that endeavor. So well done, Robert. Kirk, over to you, sir.
Okay, I'm still pissed at Jay for taking Night of the Living Dead. I seriously consider just putting the 1990 remake on my list just to have it there. But I did want to get a zombie movie on the list, and I think this one's perfect. This is just a movie that I want to talk about as much as I possibly can because not a lot of people have seen it, and they should. It's One Cut of the Dead. This is a movie where it's a Japanese film. It's about a crew that is filming a zombie movie in an abandoned nuclear power site, and actual real zombies come and attack them. And the zombies come, and they're making weird stuff happen. Like, why is that? Doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. But the zombies come, they attack. Everything, the story resolves itself. The credits roll, and then the movie starts. And it's just the way it's structured, the way it's paced. I don't want to say anything else because I do not want to spoil this at all. But this movie just did something I've never seen a movie do before, and I want to talk about it so much, but. Go in as blind as you can. Don't read anything about it. Don't look at anything. Just watch the movie. It is amazing. It's so much fun. It's such a good time. It's such a unique horror film. Such a unique zombie film. Everybody watch it.
All right. Yeah, I'm imagining that no one had that one on their list because I've never heard.
I've heard Kirk speak about this before, and I haven't seen it though. But I've been interested with what he's been telling me and what I've heard of it, but just haven't gotten to it yet.
Like Jake said, is available. I think Shudder is the only place it's streaming.
Jake's seen it. Shocking. Seen everything right now.
I watched it last year when I had Shudder for something, and it is phenomenal. It felt so different than anything else I've seen before, and it's just like, okay, yeah, this is incredible. Like, people really, even if you aren't that much of a horror fan, go into it just like completely blind and just like it just be a whale of a time.
Cool.
Thank you for the recommendation, Kirk. This is great.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely check it out. Yeah, you'll love it.
It's one of the beauties of fantasy film fights. You get recommendations that you never would have considered without the show. I love it. All right. Over to me. Okay. So I'm going to hop on the recent Karate Kid craze, but I'm not picking a Karate Kid movie, so don't worry about that. Back in the 80s, William Zabka, known then as Billy Zabka, was one of the top tier bullies in film. People remember him as the bully in Karate Kid. People remember him as the bully in Back to School, but very few remember him as the bully in the 1985 movie Just One of the Guys. Just One of the Guys is a movie about a girl named Terry who is competing in a newspaper article competition. Thinks she's not getting her just due or getting the internship she's fighting for because she is a girl, so she's transfers high schools and poses as a guy. And hilarity ensues. And the bully that she has to deal with is one and only Billy Zabka. So if you've never seen it, I highly recommend you do see it. But I'm curious, anyone on the panel, have you guys seen Just One of the Guys before?
I'm not familiar with this movie.
I saw this back in the 80s. It's been a long time.
I am aware of it due to, trying to do a deep dive on Zabka for the sake of Cobra Kai. But
gotcha. But it's one of my I don't know, it holds a place in my heart, even though it's not a great movie per se, but it's just one of those that I can just watch, and it just takes me back.
I just remember because I saw a direct, it might be either Edgar Wright or Joe Dante recently go out and say, go watch this, it's actually a really good cross-dressing film. I can't remember which one they did, but it was a couple of weeks ago I saw that and went, I might go around and watch that. Also, there's 100% something about Peggy would love.
Yeah,
I'm right. I'm glad to know I'm right.
Her kid sister Bud steals the movie. He's hilarious in it. So just if you get a chance, it used to play on Comedy Central all the time, all the freaking time. But I don't know if it does anymore because I cut the cord on cable. But yeah,
Peggy, how would you rank the William Zabka bully-averse?
You gotta go. I'd go Karate Kid, Just One of the Guys, Back to School.
Okay.
But that's just me. I think that's also just in tears that I like those movies. I don't know. But I'm happy with my team's all rounded out. Jay, over to you, sir, to close out the draft. What you got?
I'm so glad we have a spot for honorable mentions coming up because there are so many that I really want to mention. Yeah. But if I want to go with something that traumatized me as a child, that not a lot of people talk about, especially in this circle, I'm going to go with We're Back, a dinosaur story.
I am unfamiliar with this one.
Yeah.
It is a movie about a child who I believe stumbles upon a circus where a guy uses magic to bring dinosaurs back to life. It's literally just the creepiest thing. The animation's weird. It's definitely early 90s, but oh my god. If you watch a scene from this movie, you'll be like, I'm pretty sure I've heard of this movie. I'm pretty sure I've seen this movie. But basically, it's like Aladdin meets the Dinosaurs, the TV show.
Is this live action?
Kid. It is a weird choice. No, it's a cartoon.
Okay.
It's a fully animated movie. It's just weird as hell. There's a pterodactyl, a T-Rex. It's all over the place. But I loved this movie as a child, even though it scared the hell out of me.
I'm just going to quickly read out some of the cast. So you have the lead voice of John Goodman. You have Yardley Smith from The Simpsons. You have Jay Leno. You have Walter Cronkite.
Oh, wow.
Larry King.
Holy
Julia
crap.
Child.
Okay.
What were we trying to do with this? Were we trying to, like, get the news corner, the hardcore news people that watch the news every day?
News, spies, people who liked Roseanne.
Cooking. People who bought Julia Child's cookbook.
I dig it.
That was covered by Spies.
Oh, gotcha. Yes, you are correct. Sorry, forgot about that.
It's an odd selection for your fifth and final spot, but I dig it. I dig it.
Hey, we're all
doing you, Jay, and I respect it.
We're all trying to fit in at least one weird spot. It makes good variety for the draft picks.
For sure. Love it. So that brings us, we're done. We're at the end of the draft. Recap time, Tony.
Absolutely. So if you guys want to get ready for your own mentions, people in the chat, if you want to start firing off yours, and we'll get to you guys after we've done everyone else on the panel. But so the list that we have. So Joseph went first this week, and he went first with Raiders of the Lost Ark. Second, Won't You Be My Neighbor, Face in a Crowd, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and How to Train Your Dragon. Robert went next with Silence of the Lambs, No Country for Old Men, Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Robin Hood and Men in Tights, Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. Need more semicolons in that.
Yep.
Kirk in the middle, he went Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, The Wolf of Wall Street, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, 74's Murder on the Orient Express, and One Cut of the Dead. Peggy went The League of Their Own, I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, For the Love of Game, and Just Right. And Jay, taking it in the rear. Mrs. Smith Goes to Washington, Night of the Living Dead, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and We're Back, A Dinosaur Story.
Okay, so since Joseph got to go first in the draft, Jay, you get to go first with your honorable mentions. We'll just go backwards.
Most definitely. So real quick, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Teen Titans, The Judas Contract, Kung Pao, Enter the Fist, Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, and Monty Python's The Life of Brian, along with The Hunchback of Notre Dame and that much-loved Lent movie, 40 Days and 40 Nights.
Wow, I forgot about 40 Days and 40 Nights. Josh Hartnett, Jesus Christ. All right, just to name a couple of mine, I would have probably gone The Man in the Moon. It's Reese Witherspoon's first ever movie. Nice. She's Out of My League, which is a comedy that I adore.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Pittsburgh. Yep. There you go.
And then I like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I do like that Kevin Costner movie, so that was one there just in case, like as a safety pick. So, all right, we'll continue on. Kirk,
is it to me?
Yes.
My movies that were hard for me to not put on the list. John Cassavetes, A Woman Under the Influence. The Marx Brothers, A Night at the Opera. What else have I? Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Jay, I saw it when you stuck your list up there. Batman Mask the Phantasm and X-Men Days of Future Past are my two comic books. Movies, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original or the 70s version, The Hunt for October. And what else did I want to bring up here? As Good as It Gets.
Good one. I'm surprised I didn't have that on my list. All right, Robert, what are a few of the ones that just missed out being on your squad?
Yeah, I had a lot on here. Catch Me If You Can, Last of the Mohicans, A Nightmare on Elm Street for, horror classic purposes. Just watched this yesterday, and it really gets to me, but I love it so much. Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Cabin in the Woods, John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, and then the one that I almost put on there was the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That's fair. That's fair.
Wait, I gotta make a distinction here. Are you talking the 2017 Cabin in the Woods, or are you talking the 2011 The Cabin in the Woods? Because one of them is a 4-letter title. Okay, I was gonna say one of them is a 4-word title, and the other is a good movie.
The 2011 one, for sure.
And then finally, Joseph, what you got that almost made your squad?
Okay, a couple movies that I had as backups that I think are also worth checking out are Catch Me If You Can, Steven Spielberg movie with DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. You might have heard of it. I think it's a pretty good movie. A Best Picture winner of the 60s called A Man for All Seasons, really great courtroom drama also between with historical figures there. I think it's a really great movie. Also, somebody mentioned in the chat Beasts of the Southern Wild, devastating movie, but I think it's really worth checking it out for the acting and for the atmosphere and for just the overall for the filmmaking in that movie. I think it was really great, very surprising for me. Also, The End of the Tour, very subtle drama with Jason Segel and Jesse Eisenberg. I think it really was very well done. I think it should be seen more. And Where the Wild Things Are. Okay, I can see that. And last one is an anime film called The Boy and the Beast. Thought it was a really cool animated anime film.
Nice.
Kind of like, yeah, I think it's that. Yes.
And then Tony, you got a few that we missed, or some you want to throw out from the chat room?
Yeah, so I'll bring up some from the chat, but the one that I would for The Kids Are Alright.
That was on my list.
That's
and
good.
Never Julian Moore, absolutely phenomenal. All right, so let's go quickly from people from the chat. Okay, so Jake Meltzer, Cabin in the Woods, Bit Horror. Aaron, Fun with Jick and Jane from 1977.
Fair enough.
If Dave
was on my list.
Yep.
It's on my list.
Monty Python and No Holy Grail is 6 words. 2002.
Also not a good movie.
Yeah, I love that one.
This was on my list too. This was on my list too.
I had it. Yeah, that was on my list. Yeah, that one.
I'm thinking of ending things.
I'm confused.
Leo from 5 to 7.
Oh, that's a
Looney
decent pick.
Tunes, back in action, the best live action cartoon crossover.
I'm not to meet Patrick. He's got some good taste in movies. I like this guy.
Dodgeball, True and Doug Story.
Also on my list, but it's called Dodgeball for like everybody.
Come here.
True. I hate
Let the Right One In was on my list, Aaron.
Ooh.
This is like every time we do one of these and like it fits the criteria, I'm gonna have to pick it the next time I'm on, just so Deja Vu stops, because Let the Right One In, I'm pretty sure, is something that he has said the last 3 times I've been on.
I had it on my list.
Yep.
Sorry, American Tail 5 Goes West is 6 words. Whoever put that one, Anthony, sorry. That's
Anthony, learn to count.
Yeah, that's
Actually helped you out with the counting there.
I guess he didn't count the article or whatever.
Diaz, I have First Avenger on my list as well.
Yep.
But it wasn't gonna be I'm gonna take this in round 3 and 4. I'm not gonna take the first one, then take the better of the two. If the second one got taken first, there was no way the First Avenger was gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how that one goes.
So just quickly, so people, if you come up with ideas in the future, on the Facebook page or on the Twitter, please put them down. We'll absolutely hear more recommendations. I'm going to try and make a store of all the people's recommendations for a letterbox list, which I'll put up soon. And the poll will be up on the Facebook page soon. And also we're starting doing it on Twitter as well.
Yeah, it'll be up tonight. And then
Wait.
the hosts will be omitted from the Twitter poll. She only put 4. So if me and Tony playing, we're just not going to be a part of the Twitter poll.
Wait, before that happens, I have a French movie for Aaron.
Go for it.
An American Werewolf in Paris. Boom.
Nice.
Nicely done,
Oh,
sir.
here's the one with color.
Yep.
There we are. There is French film, Jay. Aaron.
Let's go around the horn and see what you guys got to promote. What social media handles you want to throw out there for the people to follow you, and then we'll get you out of here. Jay, we'll start with you, and then just go around clockwise.
I don't like it when people follow me. I have a concealed carry permit. Don't follow me.
That's fair. That's fair. Robert, you got anything you want to plug?
Facebook at Robert Castner and all the fan leagues. We have a new faction that's coming about. I don't want to go into too much detail, but someone here is part of it, so that's exciting. I have a podcast I'm working on. I'll talk about that and promote it a little bit more as it gets more equal footing. And, just at me, bro, if you want.
Sounds good. Kirk, what you got?
Nothing on the horizon. I'm going to be hosting the next series of Your List Sucks Top 100 over at Multiplex. So if you're interested in being criticized by me, throw your list in for that. Otherwise, follow me over on Letterboxd. Just put my name in, and we'll talk about movies.
Sounds good. And then Joseph.
I'm also on Letterboxd at JO20, and I'm also in Multiplex and Full Metal Trivia, and also on Facebook. Just that's it. Yeah.
Cool. And then Tony, what's coming up on featured presentations?
So coming up. So tomorrow we've got Champs Lunch. The Scott Harvey and Shelton. They are doing a rookie round table. So that's going to be Christina Fee, Jacoby Bancroft, Rue, and some random broad. Don't know who.
Yeah, some bitch.
Yeah, I've heard she's the worst person in the world.
Horrible person.
Go watch that. Sign up sheet for FPTL still available. So if you want to play, put your name down. Game will be ending tonight my time, and then we'll make the match tomorrow. Mobile Choice Maelstrom is going to be announced tomorrow. That's going to be really exciting. So that'll be the 30th of January, but we'll announce the name and date and all that properly tomorrow. And that's it. Dangerous in Cinema. They did the 70s. They did Crim vs. Crim, a really fantastic podcast. If you are into it, their podcast for next week is 80s and it's Top Gun. And I think that's
nice.
Yep. So Unearthed Bill Carriella next Tuesday. That made your list last night with Dave Goodyear. Really good shows. So you should watch him and subscribe, do other things. We are 5 away from 200. Dear God, I did not expect to say that until like July.
And then tune in next Wednesday where we here at Fantasy Film Fights will be drafting movie remakes. Should be an interesting one. So for myself, Tony, Jay, Robert, Kirk, Joseph, have a good week. Draft Christina V, draft tomorrow, draft Jacoby. Maybe me, I don't know. But we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and please don't forget to vote.
That
Why's the video not playing?
was
It is playing.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and please don't forget to vote.
that was
Awesome.
I thought it reeked.
Who's winning?
Let's see who wins.
You're gonna win.
Nothing personal. It's really gonna matter.
Tune in next week.
You see what happens?
Brand new.
Episode?
Fantasy Film Fight.
Doesn't matter who wins, because they're all losers.